So guys, I'll show you what I'm using when recording the sky or taking pictures. I'm always using the aperture mode, which you can see here. Okay, and I use also scene mode for scenes. So let's go for the scenes. So for the scene mode, you have a few options there, and let's go to menu. So you click scene, okay, and now we have a lot of choices. Okay, so you can you can have a look yourself. There's a lot of stuff you can go through. For myself, for my star trails, what I use, you just scroll the time-lapse movie option, and you have 5 options here. Okay, cityscape, you have landscape, sunset. So for star trails you need night sky. This will record the stars moving for 2.5 hours, or you can choose star trails, which will record also for 2.5 hours. Both of the options will create a 10-second long video, and so what you need to do is select, for example, star trails. Then you will click this timer here, and you will set it to 10 seconds. So in order to conserve battery, before you set up your alarm clock for 2.5 hours, so you come back to your camera, you will hit this button here, and this will turn off the display to conserve the battery. And you can have a look through the viewfinder, and then you hit the shutter, okay, which is here. It's gonna kind of focus. You press it and it's gonna count down. Now if you forgot to turn off the screen with this button, there's nothing you can do. So the best thing is just to cancel it. You press OK. Okay, so it's cancelled. So you go back again, you put your timer, and you hit this button. Don't forget to conserve the battery for any time lapse. I recommend that. And just hit shoot, and that's it. Okay, so that's star trails. So now let's go back to what I always use. So I always use aperture, because camera takes over the lighting settings and so on. And so let's go to my settings that I use. You can see I have the wheel here, so I know if the camera is in balance or not. You can see that here. It's showing you it's horizontal. Now this may be different if you live in Australia. It may be upside down. Don't worry, I think it will still be green when you are, in level, or sideways in Europe, but that's okay. So click on menu, and we have a few options. This is the main menu. So you have the settings for the pictures, you have settings for video, this is for wireless, you can play with that. I'm not going to go through. This is for GPS and the main settings. So let's go first through these settings here. Autofocus assist, I just keep it on. Digital zoom, I use this option on. You can actually tell if it's still in manual. I mean, if it's still in digital or optical. So that's no problem. You can go back with the arrow. Assign sight zoom control. This is very important. So this is this button here. Oops. This you'll be using for manually focusing, okay? You don't want it to set on zoom, you want it to set on manual focus, very important. And only this you will be using for zoom. So you can use your both hands effectively. So click that with OK. So by default it's set to zoom, but you want to set it to manual focus. Important, okay? Sound settings. You can turn off sound here. I always have it off. You want to spy on someone or shutter sound, I have it off, you know. This is auto off. This means after how much time of inactivity the camera will turn off. Format the card, self-explanatory. Language, not important. Charge by computer, not important. Toggle AV, TV, that's not important for recording. Peaking, this option you want to set it to on, and I will explain why you want it on. This basically, when you are focusing manually, will highlight the area which is in focus the most. So this must be on. Time and zone, you set yourself. Slot empty, this is for when you don't want the card to be recognized. It's not important. Monitor settings. Image review I have off, because when you are taking a lot of pictures and quickly, you will be it takes time for it to show and so on after the picture. So monitor options, I have set this to the highest. It's the brightness over here. So with these arrows up and down, and to left or right, you can change the saturation. Have it on the middle option. So view, height, framing grid, I have this grid on. Histograms I have on. The virtual horizon I have on. So this is the thing, show you here. So this is the virtual horizon, this is the thing I was talking about, okay? So back to the menu. Date stamp, this is when you want to have a date and time. You can set it as you need, if you need data for the picture that you've taken. Vibration reduction, I have it on normal. I don't think it makes much. I haven't done many tests, so can't speak much to that. And that's pretty much it over here. So GPS, ground positioning system, your Wi-Fi settings, you want to connect to the camera, we talked about it, not important. So movie options. So I record in 1080p and 60 frames. There's some other options you can play around for slow motion, for example, and so on. This is what I use. Autofocus mode. You can set to single or full time. Full time, it makes the camera work more, but yeah, it's good for when you're making video. But it will get out of focus as well. So if you know, actually, don't just just use manual anyway. So electronic VR, that's vibration reduction. I think I have it on. Wind noise reduction, I have that on. Zoom microphone I have off, because it can pick up a lot of background noise if you don't have it off. Frame rate, 30 FPS for me, that's how I record. And that's it for movie options. So let's go to shooting menu. From start. So image quality, obviously you want it on fine, the best quality. Image size, the highest possible. Picture control, I have it on standard. You can play around with the settings you want. Custom picture control, I don't mess with that. White balance, not touching. Metering, have it on the matrix, because I believe we live in a matrix. this is for shooting, so this will shoot a single picture, and you can play around with these settings. For example, this one 120 FPS, it will take a lot of pictures constantly, so when you press the shutter it will keep shooting as long as you hold it. I believe that's what it does. I tried it once. It's actually great for when you are taking pictures of lightning. It's great because you can then actually see great stuff, so that's good. This will make 16 pictures, 16 small pictures, but it's I don't know. And interval shooting, this you can set. I think it's only for, yes, every 30 seconds, and you can, when you want to make a time-lapse, custom time-lapse, so to speak. ISO sensitivity, I have it on fixed between 100 to 400, so just click OK that, just to avoid too much grain. Minimum shutter speed, that's for when you want to set the shutter, but I don't use that. So exposure bracketing, I have it off. This you can also change here with this plus and minus sign, so that's that. Don't touch that. Noise reduction filter or normal. Delighting, these are just other settings for the camera, for the shooting mode, which you don't need. Zoom memory, keep it off because it will make a lot of mess. Startup position, you can see the startup position. I just have it by default on 35mm. And manual exposure preview I have on. So that's all for the settings. And I want to show you the peaking. The peaking on, the option I talked about, is telling you is this in focus or not. So the more white spots around her, the better and the more focused the image is. Okay, so this is important. And you can change it. You see this on the side, you can change that with this arrow down. This will show you the intensity, how bright you see this, but I just leave it on 5 to be, I don't know, super bright. So you can see the peaking is working great, and if you hit the right, if you hit this here, it will automatically focus. Okay, you can see here it says autofocus. So if I not in focus and I click that to the right, it will focus automatically. Yes, so that's a little help, maybe may help you as well. And you can zoom in. If it's a moon, it's good. See, it's out of focus. So this will help you find the best if it's something that is very far away and you want to be sure you are in focus. And you click OK if you are happy with the zoom and with the focus, and then you just shoot the picture. I'm going to show you how to manually zoom effectively to avoid mistakes, which I have learned. So just to give you first a quick overview, this is your display, pretty obvious. This button here will turn off the display, and then you can look through the viewfinder here. Okay, I'll turn it back on. So this here is for recording, the red button. This just will change some settings on the display. Nothing major, but you want to see everything on. Here you have the flash. So this is your magic wheel. It's not very bright. It's better. So here you can adjust the balance. of the exposure. To the left you have, this is for photography only. Settings for timer, 10 seconds, 2 seconds. It's best for start rails, of course. I mean, for start photography. Down here you have manual focus or infinity, macro, autofocus. I just use manual focus. This button here is for viewing your recent videos. Okay, and so on. So with this one you can delete stuff, but I have nothing there that I want to delete now. And so to my settings really, and what I use, so I always use this aperture mode here, which you can see it better. So on this wheel you can change your different settings for shutter, priority, program, automatic for scene. I will go about for scenes, I will explain later. But now to shooting the planes in video mode. So there's not much you can really change in video mode. However, I will show you one little button. So this is for zooming out a little bit if you are losing your target. You can just hold it back and it's gonna pull the lens back and back again. This one you will be using for manual focus. You hit the record button. The P900, as you can see, records 15 minutes and 5 seconds. So just hit the record button. And now we are going to find a plane. There's a plane landing. So what you do first, you'll be using this for the lens in and out, so for zooming in and out. But what you will also be using, you'll be using this button on the side for focus. Okay? Now how you do that to quickly zoom in on a far object, you don't just first go with this button here and zoom out, okay? And I will tell you why you do that. Because now everything is out of focus, okay? And it will take a long time. You see how slowly I'm not pressing the manual focus, and it's taking forever to zoom on stuff for me, right? At the moment it's taking forever. So how to avoid that, I just zoom back in. Okay, just zooming back in. So first you press this button up, okay, like that, and then you're gonna hold this simultaneously, so at the same time you'll be holding both. So let's go, if we can do it. And now you can see the far object, which is the plane in this case, is in focus right away. And you see it's on fire as well. Nice, isn't it? Look at that light. Oh yeah, that's a nice catch. Wow. Amazing. So this is not a reflection from the sun, guys, just saying, you know, especially in the morning and evening you will see these guys that pretend to be planes but are not. Look how it's changing direction, you can see from the trail. And so now it's not in focus. So this is infinity. And I'm just playing now with the focus here. And look, we see light again. What is that? very weird. So how do this reflection for such a long time from the sun? It's impossible. And again, what's going on? Alright, this is this is crazy. So let's talk about no planes, orbs, lights, which mimic obviously the planes. And it's going out of focus, but I'm not touching the focus, so it is not possible to have reflection from the sun for this long, guys. Just telling you the truth. So where is our plane gone actually? So again, I'm holding the manual focus first, and then at the same time I'm holding both. So I'm holding the focus together with the zoom. So next time, you know, to avoid zooming in forever and missing your target, especially plane, you first need to hold up the manual focus button with your left hand, and then you're going to zoom in to avoid the camera trying to manually focus forever. So how come this plane makes no real trail? It's really short. This isn't a plane, guys. Sorry. I show you a real plane. But this one is quite close. Where is it here? So again, I'm first holding the focus up and then zooming in. And this is, you can see a reflection from the sun on this one actually. This is the real reflection on the real plane. See that? That's how it should behave. You shouldn't see a ball of light